hope you're doing really, really well today. I am Michelle Legaly. I am the creator of the Empaths and Sensitives Facebook group, the Inner Work Life Coaching Certification and Business Building Program, and I'm also the creator of Inner Work Circle. Used to be called Intuition Circle. We are changing it to Inner Work Circle because I really want to start focusing on not only intuitive strength, but our minds, our emotions, and getting ourselves really strong mind, emotions, and intuition. So my membership's being called Inner Work Circle these days, where we do a lot more life coaching and work on the inner work. So if you are here with me live, I would love for you to say hi in the chat. I use this thing called StreamYard, so I can't always see your name in the chat, but if you click on that StreamYard button in the description, then I'll be able to see your name. You don't have to. I just won't be able to say your name, but I'll still be able to see your comment, which is awesome. Okay, great. If you're here with me live, say hi. If you're here watching the replay, put #replay. I will come back and check out these comments. I love to. Today is all about, every week I come on and do some type of tool, tip, training, inspiration in coaching, life coaching. Today it's all about accessing your creativity in 5 minutes. And yeah, we're going to do it in a 5-minute block. But if you would consider doing this consistently, it has changed my life. And I only ever give a tool, tip, technique on things that I'm doing in my own life that I actually see a change in, like a change for the better in my life. And I'm really always working on myself. So if these tips and tools help you, that's awesome. That creates fulfillment in my own personal life. Okay, accessing your creativity. Let's start there. First, I thought, wait, what does creativity really mean? So I looked up the definition. Here's what it is. The use of imagination, which I thought was so cool because in my world, when I tap into my intuition, I can't tell the difference between my intuition and my imagination. They feel like they're the same pathway. And it's so interesting to develop intuition. We actually use imagination. Like, I know I'm not really intuitive, but if I was, what could I pretend to see? We pretend like we have it at first. That's imagination. That's how we actually start building the intuitive muscle. And if creativity is in that same space, I think that would be amazing. And I believe it is. When I really tap into the thought of creativity, it's in that same space of imagination and intuition. Okay, I'll finish this definition. The use of imagination or original ideas. Fascinating. Especially in the production of artistic work. And when we think of artistic work, I know lots of times we think of actual art or design, but artistic work comes in so many different forms, right? Like I consider my work as a coach artistic work. I design programs and products for people for their mental health, for their intuitive development. But that's an art, right? To create those things, that's an art. What about you? What do you believe creativity means for you? What does being creative mean for you? Type it in the chat for me, if you're willing. While you're typing that, I'm going to go on to the second part of this. So we talked about what does it mean to be creative. The second thing is, why would it be important to access it? Why do you want to learn how to access your creativity? Type it in the chat for me. Ask yourself the question, wait, why do I even want to tap into my creativity? For me, it's kind of like a connection to my soul or my higher self or that greater part of me. It's the part of me that's like, you know how the definition said access to original ideas? There are things in the world that we're meant to bring through. I'm meant to bring certain things into the world and manifest them. You're meant to bring certain things into the world and manifest them. We're meant to create. We are creators. That's why we're here on earth right now as human beings. We are meant to create. And some of us I know call it co-creation, and I believe that too. When we think about accessing that greater part of us, when we think about accessing our souls, our higher selves, our original ideas, it feels that same area as our life purpose and what we're called to do in the world. It's all in that same area for me. Imagination, tapping into my own soul, source. It's all in that same thing, in that same space in my mind and in my focus. So here are some thoughts I wrote down about why it's important to access our creativity. We're creators, we're manifestors. That's what we're meant to do on the earth right now. It's a way for us to connect to our soul selves, our human self and our soul selves coming together. We're meant to create. I notice when I'm in the flow of creating or allowing myself to imagine and create and feel into that, I feel that feeling of being in the flow. I feel that feeling of, I don't know, I love that feeling. And then when I actually manifest my creations and people in the world say that their lives are better because of it, it creates a sense of fulfillment in me. So sometimes I can get fulfillment just from creating my visions for myself. I can get a good feeling, but the greatest feelings come from me creating something and putting it in the world and other people benefit. I can't even think about that without getting emotional. It's the highest level of creativity that I think we can do in the world. A lot of things get in the way of that, like fear of being seen. What will people think of us? I could never do that. Who am I? There's a lot of like conditional stuff that we adopted, unfortunately, that gets in the way of that. But if we can just move all that out for a minute, and if you can hear me, what you want to create in the world is part of what you're meant to do in the world. And if we can just kind of clear some of the conditioning and access our creativity, that's what I want to do today. Okay, so let's do it now. What are some ways that you think about some times in your life when you actually felt creative, when you felt that those feelings or you had original ideas? Can you share that with me in the chat? Next thing, think about where you were when you accessed your creativity, when you accessed those original ideas or that artistic urge or the urge to do something in the world. You're using your imagination. Did that come randomly to you? I notice for me, if I'm driving a car, if I'm in water like the shower or the bathtub, if I'm out in nature, if I just sit down, I have a little blanket that I folded up to sit on, and I've been consistent. And it's like I've conditioned myself when I sit on that little pink blanket and look out the window, it's almost like I can turn on my creativity because I trained myself when I sit there, I can turn it on. It didn't happen at first, but I had to sit there, I want to say for a couple weeks with my notebook and allow myself to just sit, think, process, and then I created some space for my creativity. What about for you? Where do you notice that you can access your creativity? And I want you to just notice that and then write that down for me or for you for sure and spend more time doing that. And now I want to give you a new tool on how to access your creativity. And again, you might feel it today, but this is a tool that has a muscle to it. The more you do it, if you did this daily, you will have so much more creativity. You'll have so much more access to it. And here's the other thing I want to share with you about this, because I've been doing it daily. It's not only me doing this process that I have access to my creativity in that moment. I notice that as I move through my day and do my daily work and daily tasks, I can access my creativity like this during the day. which is so interesting. It's like I open the door to my creativity in the morning, and then I have access to it all day. The door is open. Does that make sense? And I'm just sharing all these ideas with you because they're happening to me right now. And if they can help you, then I'm fulfilling my life purpose. Okay, here's the exercise I want to take you through. We're going to do it minute by minute and see how you do. This will work best if you're not driving a car and that you can have your eyes closed. But if you can't close your eyes, that's okay. I think it can still work with your eyes open. And in my inner work circle, we call this the I wonder meditation. I also sometimes call it the no thought practice. It doesn't matter what you call it. Sometimes when I say the word meditation, I feel like so many people have so many different conditions around that word that it doesn't always work. So whatever you want to do, it's just a little exercise we're going to do. And we're going to create some moments with no thoughts. And in these moments with no thoughts is the access point for creativity. And the object of the game that I play with myself and I'm playing with you is I'm trying to create more space and time with no thoughts. Which you might go, but Michelle, aren't we trying to be creative here and create original ideas? Not in this moment. The more moments we can create with no thoughts creates more moments later on for inspiration, creativity, and fulfillment to pop up when it's exactly the right time. Does that make sense so far? Yes or no? Please type it in the chat. Okay, so let's do it together. I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. Let me get my timer going. Okay, I'm going to set my timer for 1 minute. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use the I wonder meditation. And all we're going to do, eyes open or closed, it's up to you. And here's what I do. I say to myself, I wonder what I'll think of next. And you'll notice as you sit there wondering what you're going to think next, there's going to be blank space in your mind. There's going to be no thoughts because you're just waiting. And the object of the game is to wait as long as you can. As soon as a thought drops in, you can just go, oh, that's the thought. And I want you to let it drift away. And then say to yourself again, I wonder what I'll think of next. And stay focused on how long you can wait for the next thought. Okay, we're going to go for a full minute. And I know this will be challenging for me because I'm used to talking during a Facebook Live. So it's going to be weird. My mind will give me all kinds of thoughts because I'm supposed to be talking, right? But here we go. I'm setting the timer for 1 minute. Close your eyes or open, whatever's safest for you. And I'll be quiet for a full minute. I wonder what I'll think of next. Okay, that was a full minute, I think. My timer didn't beep, but I don't know why. Okay, how was that for you? Were you able to create some space with no thoughts? Type yes or no in the chat. Here's what I noticed for me. I had a thought, you should be talking right now. You're on a Facebook Live. I recognized the thought and I let it drift away. And then I said to myself again, I wonder what I'll think of next. And I just held the thought, or I just held the space waiting for the next thought. And then I felt like a rush of it always feels like embarrassment, like I'm supposed to be talking and Michelle, maybe you forgot to put your timer on. That feeling came up and I just let it drift away. And then I said to myself again, I wonder what I'll think of next. And I'm just holding the space again of no thoughts. Then I had another thought like, you should focus on your breathing. And I let that thought drift away. And I thought, I wonder what I'll think of next. I had another thought, oh, I'm really tired today. And I just let it drift away and said, I wonder what I'll think of next. And I know I'm playing a game like I'm just seeing how much time I can think of nothing. How long could I actually hold this? And I'm playing with that idea. Okay, what happened for you? Share with me in the chat. Someone said, open my mind to new things. Yes, that's part of like doing this exercise and accessing your creativity. Boy, like you'll see if you continue to do this, how much will come to you. Somebody else said, all over the place, one thought after the other. Me too. Okay, let's talk about something. We're not going to shame ourselves. We're not going to say we suck. We're not doing any of that. We're going to giggle and laugh and play with it. Okay? We're just becoming aware of how we're operating. That's it. We're just playing a game together of how much space can I create with no thoughts? So you can even think about it that way. How much space can I create with no thoughts? Or I wonder what I'll think of next. Either way you want to play that. Treat it like you're playing a game. Okay, can we try again? Okay, we're going to do another minute. Here we go. Eyes closed if that's comfortable and safe for you. Otherwise, you can keep your eyes open. I'm going to try my eyes open this time. Okay, I think that was a minute too. Also, my timer's not working, but I think that was another minute. Okay, if your eyes are closed, open your eyes. How'd you do? The object of this game is to create as much space as you can with no thoughts. And it's this method I'm trying to teach you. It's like the doorway to open up for creativity to come in. Creativity is available to you in the space between your thoughts. Somebody write that down. Your unique creativity is available to you in the space between your thoughts. And I want to say it's always available to you, but you can't see it or recognize it until you create space between thoughts. I hope somebody types that in the chat or writes it down. I think that's really an important way for us to see this. Our creativity is available to us in the space between our thoughts. Someone said this time I breathed and visualized the tide coming and going in and out. So there was no thoughts other than that rhythm. Excellent. I notice I do that too. I'll do that with my breath. When I breathe in, I can feel this expansion. And when I exhale, I bring it back in. I think that's an excellent thing. And then I want you to play with that you just created. And then I also want you to just sit in nothingness, like you're not even allowed to do that activity. But that activity is a step in the right direction. And then there's another one where it feels like emptiness. Play with both of those. Because I noticed for me with my breathing, the tide in and out, that keeps my mind active. So there's no thoughts. And what I'm asking you to do here is there's even no activity in the mind except sitting in the emptiness. But again, both are really good activities to do. Okay, so I'm going to say it one more time because it's a new thought for me also. We have access to our creativity in between the thoughts. I wonder how much no thought space and time we need to have full access to our creativity. Do we need a full 5 minutes? Do we need a full 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 years? I don't know the number. I know if I practice it a little bit every day, I get access to my creativity all throughout the day. And maybe the creativity has always been there, but now I can just see it. I bet that's true. It already exists within us. We just don't have access to it because of the way our minds are being super busy. And we have to slow down the thoughts in order for us to see it, the thing that's already there. I bet that's what's happening. Let me know, what are you thinking right now for yourself? Does this have value for you? Yes or no? Would you doing this every morning or even right now have value for you? And the truth is, I guess it's like the proof's in the pudding, right? Like you actually have to do it. Like we just did it for 2 minutes right now. And go about your day and just notice if your day is better, worse, or the same. That's it. Like you did this for just 2 minutes together. Really stay conscious of the rest of the day and just go, that's interesting. Like for me, I've been doing it for several weeks and I go, it's weird. The days I just take a few minutes and do this, the day is smooth and easy and feels in flow. The decisions I have to make feel easy. Everything feels easier. I get done what I said I was going to get done. And the days I don't sit on that little pink blanket and I just get caught up in the day, it feels like I'm a boat going upriver, trying to go upriver. I'm not in the flow. And could it be that easy? And I think it could be. Is this helpful? Okay, again, it's something I've been practicing for quite a while, but I've never said it in a way that I said it today. I want us all to have access to our creativity. That's our imagination. That's our intuition. That's our higher selves. That's our true selves. Like we are just tapping in to that soul part of us. It's already there. We're just calming down the ego or the thoughts, whatever, the superficial stuff, and touching base with that. And we're doing that through creating a space of no thoughts. And you just deciding you're not going to have any thoughts taps us back into that part of ourselves. And it really is a game changer for me. Someone just said, it's interesting that I dream creatively. If I can wake up and just be, I will have thoughts of walking routes I have created in my sleep or knitting patterns or recipes. I get it. So you're saying to me, you already do this in your dream state. And you're saying, I'm going to wake up and just what you've already created in your sleep and create those patterns in your wake state. I think that's such an interesting way to think and like to keep to the forefront of your mind. Oh, I can't wait to see who wrote that, because I'd love for you to come back and kind of share with us, like, you taking a few days with this new idea you have and how it has changed your days. And it's probably going to be something you're going to need or want to share with others. And we would love to know. Because I think once we share our own creativity and other people get value out of it, it creates this, I can't think of anything more fulfilling than to use what's in us, share it, and people benefit from it, or the earth, or the children, or the animals. There's some benefit to the world. I think that's why we're here. Okay, I know this was a little like, not woo-woo, because I love woo-woo, but I hope this was tangible enough that you've got a tool for you to try, and you did try, and to see if your day is better because of it. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.